What is the cause of the discontentment that Buddhas have that triggered their search for enlightenment?
Why you are all the time interested in causes? Why this happened? Why that happened? Why you are interested?
Because there is a question and I'm looking for the answer.
What is the cause of no discontentment in you? First you answer.
Because I'm not intelligent.
You say more things. Why you are so contented?
It's not that I'm totally contented. It's just that
You are discontented about the outside things. But what about the inside? You are perfectly happy with as you are.
no, I'm not.
What you are worried about? You don't shit a lot.
I actually, to be honest, I'm very scared of death. I'm very afraid of death.
This is not discontent. Why you are afraid of death? What you will lose?
I think it's because
Your condominium you are already selling, so what you will lose?
what is what?
Your condominium you are already selling, so what you will lose? Your greatest treasure you are going to lose. I said your greatest treasure you are going to lose already, so what you will lose? Huh?
You mean my condominium is my greatest treasure, Swami?
Perhaps.
Not lah. No, it's not the greatest treasure.
Then what is it?
I feel that life is more greater treasure than a house. I feel life is a more greater treasure.
You feel or you are quoting like a parrot?
I'm not quoting. This is what I'm feeling right now.
I have told you so many times, it is better to be Socrates dissatisfied than to be a fool satisfied. It is better to be a man dissatisfied than to be a pig satisfied. Because if you are satisfied with your inner state, you will remain as stupid as you are. I am not just saying about you, about everyone. Most of people have accepted themselves as they are. They have no problem with themselves. They think they are perfect. The whole world is imperfect. The whole world is wrong, but they are right. But then you can never grow. The only thing which you can change is yourself. You cannot change the world. And most of our problems are created by our inner hell, our inner disharmonious state. If you are mature, if you are intelligent, if you are observing life, then you will realize one day that as long as things are not in harmony inside, not in rhythm inside, as long as the music is absent inside, you can be anywhere in the whole world. If you are not silent, if you are not peaceful, if all kind of contradictory waves and bubbles are arising within you, then even if you are put in heaven, you will be in hell. So our inner state is more important than the outer things. And outer things, everything you cannot change. But your inner state, if you are intelligent, if you are really alert, then you can change. That is in your hand, more in your hand. That is in your hand. So anyone who is observing life, who is little awake, will be able to see that what he is doing, his whole life is just repetitive. He is doing the same thing again and again and again ad infinitum. We go on eating, then filling our belly, and then go on defecating. ऊपर से भरना, नीचे से निकालना. Putting thing inside from top and from bottom taking out. Is this a very intelligent life? This is the whole meaning and purpose of your life? Are you existing just to eat? You can live a life which is very close to animal. You eat food and then procreate. Food, fart and fuck. Eat, drink and be merry. Philosophy of asleep people. So anyone who is little alert will be able to see that he is in a prison. He is compelled by his biology. Whether you want to eat or not, you have to eat. Your sexuality is also a compulsion. But this is below human dignity. Just to go on eating, having sex, or our so-called making love, running for power, running for money, running for ambition. None of these things can bring light to our inner darkness. And as long as there is no light inside, your whole life is just a wastage. It has no significance. It has no meaning. So anyone, any man who is little wise can see that because there is a consciousness that is eminent in your body, that is residing in your body. That is functioning in your body. All else, everything else, you can enjoy or you can feel, you can think, you can see, you can hear, whatever. So if you are not established in this consciousness, then you are just a football. So anyone who is little alert will realize one day that this question will arise in him. Do I exist or not? Is there something within me which remains, which is unchanging, which was, which is, and which will be? Or I am just a wave. I am just a wave in the ocean. Or is there any ocean also? Is there something within me which remains always the same, which is unchanging? Do I have any existence or not? Who am I? And when all these questions will arise, when you go on experiencing the outside world with little awareness, when you are little alert, then you will realize one day you are repeating all the time the same thing. Then this discontent will happen. Inside I am totally clouded. Inside I am totally confused. I am just dominated by waves. Thoughts goes on ruling me. Emotions goes on ruling me. My lust, my desire. Is there any master within me or not? If I have no master within me, if I am just ruled by slaves, these slaves which we call lust, greed, anger, hunger, sex, are there only slaves inside me? Are there only waves and bubble inside me? Or is there something which has a light? So for anyone who is little awake, who is not totally asleep, who is not a somnambulist. This question will arise. If it is not arising, that means that you are a very immature person. You are just like a robot or humanoid. You are living a life which is full of darkness. You are living a mechanical life. You are just a programmed, conditioned computer. So this is a very natural question which should arise in everyone. But our whole society, our whole education, our parents, our teachers, they are the corruptors, they pollute us. The whole milieu, the whole society is so sick and so insane and so asleep that they will suppress all the time that this question should not arise in you. Because once this question arises in you, the kind of life which you are living loses all meaning. You will realize you were just daydreaming. All your ambition, all your running for money, all your running for success, you were running for power, you were running for prestige and respectability. These are all just like running for dreams. The only real thing is this consciousness. And once you have come to know this consciousness, this discontent will disappear. It is only the discontent is there because you are out, you have gone astray, you are out of your home. So you have to come back to the home. It is like a fish is out of the water. So being established in this consciousness is being in a natural state. We have all become unnatural. For any intelligent man, this question will arise. What is the basic, the very foundation, the essence of my existence? The cause of this discontent, which happens in few people only, is that they are more alert. They are relatively more awake than other people. So once you are little alert, then you will realize that you are in a kind of vicious circle. You are in a prison, a kind of self-created prison from which you cannot come out. If you are in a jail, then you need someone who has been in jail and has broken jail or has found some way out of the jail. And you have to make friendship with that person. He knows when the guards will be asleep and where is the way, where is the place where the jail is weaker. Or maybe he has created a tunnel. And out of compassion now he is again entered into the jail to take you out. So you need some help from outside. as long as you have not become acquainted with your own inner light. Repeat the question again.
What is the cause of the discontentment that Buddhas have that triggered their search for enlightenment?
This discontentment should be the natural consequence of living this life. If you have lived it, then you will be in search of something which is more meaningful, which is more significant, which is higher than this. Because we are not living life. We are just interested in livelihood. We have been so spoiled and so corrupted that we are not living life. Because to live life you need a master within. Some mastery is needed. And if you have lived life, the next step will be the search for enlightenment. What is the search for enlightenment? This is the search for the inner light. Because if you are lost in the outside world, you are just a football. You are being kicked from one place to other. We are all lost. We have lost our paradise. And to regain it, the inner light is needed. So discontent is bound to happen for any intelligent person if he is living life. This is very natural for a human being. He cannot be satisfied till he is able to find something which is infinite, which is boundless. He is in search of freedom. Freedom is our very search, that is intrinsic in us. No one wants to be in bondage, not even an animal. So only if you have this inner light, only once you are established in your consciousness, only when you are enlightened, you have broken the prison. Otherwise, all the time we are slaves. Slaves to people, slaves to our instinct, our desires, our greed, our anger, our sexuality. So in this kind of bondage, in this kind of prison, how can you be happy? How can you be contented? If you are acting, you are contented. You are just like an animal. You are just like a pig. Eating shit, it is happy. That's why it is said, it is better to be Socrates dissatisfied than to be a fool satisfied. A fool is a person who can just go on repeating the same thing ad infinitum. There are people who just live only to eat. That is their only joy, their only pleasure. If you are living only for pleasure, then you are at the level of animal. And when you are living a life which is so low, which is only of pleasure, then you will be in bondage. thousands of bondage will be there. We are all the time dreaming that if there will be money in our life, we will become happy. If there will be fame, prestige, power, if we found someone who loves me, if I am in love with someone, my life will be in heaven. But a person who has experienced all those things, he realizes these are all just soap bubbles. They promise a lot, but once you have it, if your inner light is missing, you create hell out of all these things. Where you were thinking you will have a great love affair, there is only hell in it. So once who has experienced all those things, which he was dreaming that if he get it, all these things, his life will become fulfilled. It will become happy. And you have not found it by experiencing all those things. Then this discontent arises. That outside there is nothing. All those things were promising a lot, but it could not deliver much. So if you are intelligent, then you will have a new birth, which is called in India Dvij. That means he is twice born. One birth is given to you by your parents. The other birth you have to give to yourself. Until and unless you are twice born, you can never be free. And freedom is the highest value. Freedom is the most significant thing in life. Whatever you are doing everything to get freedom. Whether you want to have power, whether you want to have money, whether you want to have a girlfriend or a wife, or a big house, a big bank balance, everything you want, so that your boundary line becomes less visible. One day you will realize that your boundary line can become further away, but still you are in a bondage. Nothing from outside can really satisfy you. The light is missing within you, and if you have dazzling light outside, it is not going to remove your inner darkness. That can be removed only by having your inner light. This is the basic difference in Eastern and Western attitude. The West is all the time more concerned about the object. It is not interested in the subject. But this is the most laughable thing. If you don't exist, if you are not, then who is knowing these objects? If the scientist is not existing, then who is studying? But if their attitude, because the objective world can be seen, whatever can be known, whatever can be experienced, whatever can be heard, whatever can be touched, whatever can be thought, whatever can be imagined. It is easy to grasp it, but you are behind all those things. You are always the knower. The knower cannot be grasped. It cannot be grasped. So that's why they are denying it. But But once you don't exist, then the whole world disappears for you. If you see their philosopher, their mathematician like Descartes, when he said cogito ergo sum, I think therefore I am, it means that he is giving importance to waves, to bubbles. Thinking is just a wave in the ocean of the consciousness. He has not realized his consciousness. He has not experienced his consciousness. That's why his thinking can be caught. I think, therefore I am. But the reality is, because you are, you can think also. If you don't exist, who will think? But it looks so scientific, they are so scientific. But about themselves, they are very superstitious. They are not scientific at all. I was hearing a book of philosophy. So all their ancient philosophers, someone says that fire is the most important element. Out of it everything has come. Someone says air is the most important element. Someone says water is the most important. Someone says earth is most important. And one person, and later on some may realize, they realize that it is the combination of these four that has created this whole world. But in India, they talk about 5 elements. In Hindi, it is called Chiti Jal Pavak Gagan Samira. That means earth, air, water, fire, and space. Space or ether, you can say. But they have, none of them could realize that there is something called space also. There is something called that. That is the most important among all these elements. That empty space, they are denying. Out of this emptiness, out of this nothingness, everything comes out. That is the very essence. But because they have not gone inside, they have not known their own emptiness. So they are denying it outside also. And we are all very much influenced and infected by Western disease. This disease of only running for outside things, running for pleasure, running for things which are concrete. We accept something as real or true only when it can be touched, it can be tasted, or it can be heard or seen. But this knower cannot be touched or seen or heard. But without it, you cannot see anything, you cannot touch anything, you cannot hear anything, you cannot smell anything. You can neither think nor imagine nor dream or whatever. So the most important thing is the knower within you, the consciousness. As long as you are dependent on others for your happiness, for your satisfaction, for your contentment, for meaning in your life, for significance in your life, you will be in prison. You will be a slave. So this search to know oneself begins out of discontent. Out of the discontent of being in bondage. Bondage, as long as you are dependent on other, dependent on things or people, you will be in bondage. So when you realize this bondage, there will be discontent. And this discontent can disappear only once this dependence on other disappears. This can happen only when you have known yourself. Then yet you have no dependence on other, no psychological dependence on other for your happiness, for your contentment, for your existence. You are not lonely. Now you are alone. What Osho says, this is a flight of alone to alone. It is not a relationship with anyone else. This is a search which happens only to those who are matured. If you are a baby, if you are a mustache baby, then you need lollipop, you need poppins, toffee, cookies, cakes, ice cream, movies. If you are wasting your time in these things, you have not grown up. You're just a baby. Otherwise, this is the very natural thing. If my home is if my home is cluttered, if my home is full of garbage, first I will clean my home. Because I have to live there. Then only I will start cleaning the road. So charity begins at home. First thing is that you have to be charitable to yourself. First, remove your own inner darkness. First, be your own light. Then only anything else is possible.